This is the Anything Goes Project video stream. Please be patient, the show will begin momentarily. Remember, the show can be reached via email at stalkermailbox@gmail.com, or simply call in and leave us a voicemail at 361-433-5739. If you like the show, please subscribe and leave us a rating. This helps the show to be seen. More video streams can be found on the Anything Goes Project YouTube channel. To help the show, subscribe and like the channel. The Anything Goes Project can be found on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Castbox, Stitcher Radio, or anywhere you get your podcast media from. You're listening to the Anything Goes Project. Interesting topics, interesting things. Real stories by real people. Your host is Mike. The Anything Goes Project is a production of M&C Designs. Be advised, this show may not be suitable for all ages. Many of the topics are for mature audiences only. The explicit tag is there for a reason. If you would like to contact the show, email us at stalkermailbox@gmail.com, or leave us a message at 361-433-5739. And now, on with the show.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, boy, I just flubbed that one up, but I'm going to cut that. Good evening, everybody. This is Mike with the Anything Goes Project, and tonight I have an awesome guest for you. Our guest tonight, we're going to be talking about keeping rock alive, soothing your blues, and healing the masses with music. Kaylee, how are you doing? Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, Kaylee.
Kaylee,
yes.
with
Kaylee.
Laced in Blue. That is
Yes.
the band that she is with. And let me tell you guys, I listened to their whole album on Spotify today while cruising around on the motorcycle. Damn good. So how are you doing tonight?
Thank you. That's so good to hear. Thank you so much.
It's a really good album. As I said before when we were talking, one of the songs, for my listeners, I'm going to say this again later. I'm going to play one of the songs at the end of this podcast for you to listen to with their permission. They hold the licenses to it, so I can do that.
On Spotify, So
yeah, and it's on Spotify, and I'm going to give you guys the links to it. So the reason that one song I want to talk about, because it's very rough.
Yeah.
It's in your face. And it's very much like has a Stevie Ray Vaughan vibe to it. And I grew up on that blues and rock mix and stuff. And so I love that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. I grew up listening to a lot of classic rock. Like my dad loved a lot of classic rock. But me personally, like my internal being was always like drifting towards soul and R&B and blues. And I just loved that. And so like this, whenever I see people combine the two and you really see that come out in the blues, rock and roll and soul, it's the blues,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it doesn't always mean it has to be sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's that feeling that comes with it, and it's
it gets you into this mood, and you're like, yeah, I feel the music. It's a feeling that you get when you're listening to that type of music.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I love it. And it's funny because one of my guitarists, he's a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. So, when he came onto the song, he added that. I think that might be that flair you're getting, but that's Will there. He's like, he does I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, on Get Your Fix, on that song Get Your Fix. Me and Jerry wrote that one. That was me and Jerry. We wrote that song, and then when we met Ian and Will, they came in and added their
flair to it,
and it really just like created the song, but like it didn't lose anything that it had when it was just the acoustic version either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when that do 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 dum bum bum dum bum dum da 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 dum dum, it's like it doesn't lose it. It's still there, but then there's just like these extra components that add to it, and it's like I think it's a great song.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually had a couple of the guys today listen to it as well. I was like, check this out. Listen to it. And because one of my friends was like, there ain't no way you got her coming on the show. And I'm like, here she is right here, dude.
Well, thanks.
So
I'll take that as a compliment.
it's an
So
awesome.
yeah, that was one of my first songs that I wrote that we put out there. That not I didn't write the music to it. This was Jerry. You know, we wrote the song together. He wrote the
Yeah.
music. I wrote lyrics. It was just like, I mean, honestly, you'd have to ask him. I'm not really sure how long he'd been working on that little riff in his head. Maybe it could have came right to him right there in the moment, or maybe it was something he had been playing for years. I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
It felt like it came right in the moment, just jamming and, you know, and
Sometimes that
life
happens. Now,
happens and it can translate to music so easily. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, that's no problem. Now, one of the things I like to do is talk when I'm talking to artists, specifically music artists that are here. I want to talk about your journey, because the people that listen to my show like to hear your journey from point A to point B, because it inspires them as well. And in your journey, you told me in your bio that you feel like you've lived almost 30 lives. I mean, moving out of your home when you were 17 years of age, I can vouch for that. I did the same thing. I moved out when I was 16 and a half.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's welcome, hello world.
yeah. I feel like I was so ready though.
Yes.
Like I was like a real smart kid. I was a lot quieter than I am now. I would just kind of sit back and observe and like just take in everything around me. I had like a wide range of friends where like I didn't really not get along with any. I could sit me next to anybody in class and I was like, hey, what's up? Like but at the same time, like it wasn't. I don't know. I couldn't get in front of the class and read out loud in front of anybody or you know what I mean. It was a different kind of.
It's you grew a lot in that process.
Yeah, I've changed so many times, you know, and when I moved out, I graduated at 17. I moved out. I did a year of college at Western. I went to St. Louis. I moved there. I lived in Phoenix. I lived in LA. But like within those big moves, I moved around a lot. Like it's like I was working summers here at the Lake of the Ozarks, and I moved back to the city, and I went back there for another summer, and then I moved to Phoenix, and then I moved to Peoria, and I moved to another spot in Phoenix, and then I moved out to Alhambra, and then Koreatown, and then Hollywood, and then back to Michigan, and then like another spot in Michigan, and then back to LA, and then I was homeless for a while almost, where I was like, I came back and I was like, I think I have something set up, this might work, and everything fell through like it was supposed to, like, but I make all these moves based on, I don't know,
A feeling.
this internal feeling that pulls me places. Like I have to do this.
You're one of those people that lives in the spontaneity of things.
Yes.
It's an adventure. It's what I tell people all the time. Look, this life is an adventure. You have to live it. This is the only one you get.
Oh man, I tell you, I've chosen
Live it to its max.
It's very.
I am so envious.
But like how it's not never boring. I'll tell you that.
Like I said, I'm so envious of some of these people that go and like, you know what? I'm just going to go backpacking across Europe and Asia for the next 2 years.
I know.
And it's like,
amazing.
and it's like, how are you going to live? I don't know. I'm taking a tent.
Hey, that's a commitment.
Yeah, and they work in each one of the towns they go to and raise a little money and then move on to the next location. But they're getting to experience life. They're getting to experience the cultures of other people. And in the United States, we can do the same thing because there's so many varieties of people that you can interact with from one coast to the next. I've actually been fortunate enough to travel because I've been to all 48 of the continental U.S. states, Mexico and Canada and stuff. And so I've gotten to interact with people. And that has always been one of my fascinations when I'm interacting with them, is I want to hear their stories.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I find myself being the storyteller. I'll sit down and somebody asks me a question and then it leads to another question, but my answers become so absurd that they're just like, wait a minute, hold on. And then I'm like, okay, do we really want to go down this road? You know, do we really want to go here? Do you really want to know? Like, it's really like, yeah, the music, like with music and stuff, like this has been a very new part of my life. This is in one of these this is a kind of still a new chapter, and within this like portion of my life I've been opening up new chapters. Like right now I feel like I'm stepping into yet another, you know, like I want to take a step further in music. I want to expand my horizons in music. Let's do this. Like with the band, like it was mainly all like we were trying to just We wanted to stick to that classic rock, that blues, that stuff. And now we're like, you know what? Like, we all love these different kinds of music. What's wrong with incorporating different aspects into it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, who says we have to stay in one genre? And nobody wants to be put in a box till they're dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
some people don't want to be put in a box.
And my hat's off to any artist that can do that, because there are very few. A majority of your like big name pop artists and stuff that are in like that have these massive recording companies that are backing them 100% and stuff. They stick to one type of music, and very few can ever move out of that particular genre. Yeah, it's like if we move out of that genre of music, our fans, we're going to lose them. I can name maybe a handful. I know Darius Rucker's one of them. He was Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, that was like alternative pop, and now he sings country music.
Country. I'm just going to do country. This is what I like.
Yeah, he's like, screw you, I'm doing country.
Great.
But very few. But you wouldn't see Fall Out Boy going all of a sudden we're going to do opera.
Yeah, that'd be weird. But if one of the members decided he was really a huge fan of opera, I wouldn't be surprised if like one day you're like, what? He's doing this somewhere else, but he's still doing Fall Out Boys. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, I am not opposed to that. People are allowed to.
But my point is as the band themselves, they can't branch out because
it's tough.
It's tough. And you guys have such a wide variety, because like I said, I listened to the whole album, and you can hear the differences in the music styles from song to song. I almost got, like I said, with Get Your Fix. I got a Stevie Ray Vaughan mix, and let me open it back up so I can see which ones I was looking at.
Yeah, we have our 4-song EP that's available for everybody online right now.
And then it was like
more on the way.
And then like Steel, that was a little more mellowed down, and almost got a Michael Bublé. Yeah, like a Bublé style almost to it. Not necessarily a Frank Sinatra style, but you just toned it down and got that sway going.
Yeah, I was listening to Bublé this morning. I like put on Feeling Good because I was like, you know what, I'm feeling good today. And I put on Feeling Good. I like to have my feel good music. It's good mantra, you know. And I went through a whole playlist, and I was like, these are all Michael Bublé songs? Like, I didn't even realize like how many great songs. So like, that's awesome. Thanks.
And it's the journey the music takes you on. Now, it's not like you're going to listen to a Slayer or Pantera album or something. And it's just
that's Jerry. That's all Jerry's music.
And it's the whole time you're raw and you're angry the whole time. I like music that takes me on a journey. That's why we create playlists. Well, with this album, I didn't have to have a playlist. I just listened to it from beginning to end, and it was like, man, that was awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, there's some good ones on there. Yeah, we got a couple more we just recorded actually over at 4th Street Studios in Santa Monica. We did we got 4 more. We just have to get everything all finalized, and you know, we got to get it right before we get it out there to the world. But everybody's heard them all live. You know, we've got live videos of us. We've got a couple troubadour videos on our website of us performing a couple of the songs that we're going to be releasing. They're sounding really good, and they've been getting a really good response at live shows, and I'm so excited to share them with everybody. So it's like one of those things, like, got to be on the lookout for it for sure.
So the YouTube channel, I'm actually looking at all the links to all your different locations. The YouTube channel, that's where people can actually go and watch you guys live, or some of your live performances.
We try to get some of them filmed. We do have some filmed on there. If they're not in LA or Long Beach or somewhere we're traveling to, then you'd have to rely solely on the internet. And that is something that just hit me like a ton of bricks right now. Like, we have stuff out there, but like, you know, like, wow, like only the people that see us live, like, really get to see what we do.
Yeah.
You know, like, they really get to see it, and they get to feel the energy that's in the room. It's always cool to come to like the shows, you know.
And live performances are so much better.
Like, this is a tiny little portion of people that may be able to enjoy our music, you know. Like, we're gonna get some more content out there.
Good.
We're gonna get some more content. There's content out there, but we're gonna get some more content out there because people need to see it. Yeah. People need to see it.
Okay. So you ended up living with musicians, playing with their equipment. Enjoyed it.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, what's this happening?
You were bartending at the same time.
Bartending.
You worked a karaoke night for the first time and sang karaoke. So was that when you realized this is what I want to do?
Okay. Can I step back a little bit before that
Step
moment?
back. Let's go.
Okay.
Take
So
us on a
I came
journey.
out to LA, right? I moved out to LA. I was doing the whole acting and modeling thing. It was like, I had no idea what was going on. I just came out here and just went for it. And it was going well. And it was pretty cool. And I didn't feel fulfilled. I kept thinking like, this is not my passion. I don't feel passionate about it. Yeah, I really want to do it, but I don't feel passionate about it. And I was becoming like sort of depressed, and I was like looking for something to be passionate about. And I fell in love with somebody, and I picked up my life, and I went to that person, and they did not want me.
Oops.
You know, it was one of those, like, I think I was just searching for something. And I had a million excuses to go back home. So I went home, you know, and I left everything. And while I was there, it was like, this is I didn't see what it was going to lead to. It was just like torture. Like, what is happening? So much was happening. Everything with my family, my friends, my life, my love. It was like, holy cow. Like, I don't know if I can handle this. And I was crumbling. And I started to like sing to myself to soothe myself. And I would sing in the car. And I was like singing the first song. I was One and Only by Adele.
Mm-hmm.
I dare you to let me be your, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, she was getting it. And I was feeling it. And I wanted to sing it. And I started singing it. And Alex Clare, guess I'm just too close to love you. You know, like really like, I don't want to yell. I mean, I guess I could have, but it was, you know, it was really resonating. And I was singing these songs, and I started thinking to myself, like, hey, I don't sound half bad. Like that felt really good. Because I started thinking, like, if only I could sing. Oh, I thought, if only I could sing. I bet you that would do it. Like that feeling. I would listen to music like, if I could just sing it. And so I was like, in the car alone, fuck it, I'm gonna sing it. And then I was like, that was kind of good. And my mom overheard me singing. I was at her house visiting. I didn't even know she was there. I was like staying for the weekend, and I was in the room, and all of a sudden she hears me singing Jackson 5, and she comes in the room, and she's like, oh my God, Kaylee. And I'm like, what? Get out. Like, literally, I was so embarrassed at first. She just like caught me off guard. And she was like, you have to sing. You have to sing at the open mic night. And I'm like, okay, no, I can't sing. Leave me alone. She's like, no, you can, and you're going to sing. And I was like, I was 26, I think. She was like, you're my daughter of 26 years of age, and I've never heard you sing. You know, like, what? And because I couldn't sing before. It took something for me to have to sing, you know?
When people walk in and they hear me singing, it's a totally different response. They walk in and it's like, what the fuck
I never used to be able to sing.
They're
when
like,
I was
what?
a little kid, I've had a lot of people, as I was growing up, I even tried choir. Like, people were like, you know what? Maybe this just isn't your thing. And so, I don't know. It took something for it to happen. And it happened. And I was like, I think it was just like that soothing. It was healing me. Started doing yoga a lot. I was doing a lot of yoga. My time I started spending alone a lot. Painted a lot of pictures. I did a lot of pranayama breathing. I meditated every morning. I started doing sit-ups like it was my job, just because I was like, not gonna let anything tear me down anymore, you know? And I was just like, and I would sing. And I feel like with yoga and the breathing, it helped me with controlling my breath. So when I would try to sing these songs, I was able to. When before I wasn't, I didn't know how.
Now, I want to step back real quick, because you mentioned your painting and you showed me some of your paintings and stuff. And I want to talk about that, because I just recently did an interview with a gentleman who started an organization called Survivor Nights, and he teaches people to paint to overcome tragedies that they've gone through in their life. And we're talking like kids that were trafficked and sex trafficking and stuff like that. He's working with them.
That's a whole nother serious topic.
And painting is what he's using as the medium to heal. Did you find that?
Painting is very therapeutic.
And that's what I was wanting to express in this, is the therapy behind it. Just you get in that zone and you're in your own thoughts, and you can express what you're feeling onto the canvas.
I feel like one thing with painting is it is the one thing even more so than yoga. Yoga's very, very good at like getting your mind just in your body and what you're doing and in the moment out of your head. But painting, I have to focus every stroke. I focus, I have to breathe so I don't jitter. You know, it's meditation for me. It's been with my whole life. It's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. You know, it's like that one thing that's never going to leave me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I go, even if I can't use my hands, I'll be finger painting. I'll be using my elbows. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still gonna find focus in it, you know? And so music coming into my life has been healing different parts of me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's art in general.
Yeah. And that's what I always tell people is music. I don't care what art it is that you get involved into. Art has the ability to change your perspective on life, change your mind. It has the ability to help you heal from tragedies. I don't care if it's music.
Yeah, and the music
painting,
is very important too.
Draw,
especially on perspective.
Oh,
it's
you
like
think about you think
Mantra.
about music. What does music do?
It's hypnotic.
Music has won wars.
Use it to heal. Yes, use it to heal. You know,
it can heal you. It inspires so many emotions. You can be in your car, listen to one song, and be just rooting for joy. Next song, you're bawling your eyes out.
Yes, it controls your emotions. That's what one of our new songs are about that we just recorded. We have a live troubadour video online of us. It's called Wake Up. We just recorded it. It's on its way. But that's kind of what that song's about. It's like telling you, stop and take a look from another perspective. You know what I mean? Like, you might see some things that you weren't expecting. Like, literally, it's so, every word is telling you. Like, and it makes you realize how powerful music really is. It even says, like, talking about how your emotions can be controlled by every pluck of his strings, every single sound that comes out. What's this make you feel? What's this make you feel? You know, a little more hopeful. What's this make you feel? Oh, now I'm feeling even more cheery. What's this? Oh, not so much. It's hello. You know what I mean? It's magical. So it's like, be careful. I tell people, guard your ears and eyes on what you're listening to.
Yes, and I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, music doesn't affect you as much." And I said, "I tell you what, how about we go through take the scariest horror movie you've ever watched in your life, and let's dub out the music."
And just listen to just the music.
No, and just dub out the music. And now watch the horror movie without the music. Is it a scary movie anymore?
Not as much. No, dude. No. The music is everything. I kind of want to score films one day. Like, if I'm too tired to be in a rock band one day, like, I really want to score films because I've put together some pieces and everybody goes, sounds like movie music. I was like, yeah, I like it.
Do it. I mean, there's a whole industry for that.
Of course there is. Yeah. I'm like, I'll work on it. Rock and roll is pretty awesome right now, though. And blues. And it's funny because I write a lot, and before I started singing, like I said, I didn't start singing until 26. Oh, getting back to that, when I was 26, I moved back to LA because I was having crazy dreams that were telling me I needed to go back to LA. When I was in this solitude, right, and I was going through this introspection and really trying to weigh everything out, I had a dream that was like, you need to go back to LA. All of a sudden, I was on a stage. I had a microphone in my hand. I had a band in the dream. Never before had I sang like this in front of anybody, right? I said, I'm going back to LA. I packed my stuff. I was gone in a week. And I got back to LA. Within a year, I had a band.
Yeah.
I moved in with my friends that both needed roommates too. Right when I was coming, we all got a place together. They happened to be musicians. What's up, BJ Allman? What's up, Cat Lidstone? Yeah, they're wonderful musicians.
Was that the band that you had, Kaylee and the Jays?
No, that was just my roommates. Kaylee and the Jays was my first band that did come out. That was with me and Jerry, who we wrote "Get Your Fix," right? And then Lace and Blue formed after that. We had a couple bandmates that we were like, let's write music. And they were like, we don't have time. So we're like, okay, fine. We'll find somebody else. So that's business. But yeah, no, I was playing Cat's piano and BJ taught me how to use his looper, right? His guitar looper.
Yeah, the foot
And I was
pad.
like,
The
this
foot
is
pads.
so cool. And I made like my first beat on the piano, and I showed him like, look what I made. And he was like, holy shit. It was like strings and chorus and trumpets and like piano. He said, this is a symphony. It was really fun. I was like, cool. I thought it was cool. But it was really cool. And I'm like wanting to learn how to expand more into that, because that was like a moment that introduced me to music. I happened to get a job as a bartender from an old friend who was managing a bar that needed me on a certain night, which happened to be karaoke night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was working every karaoke night, and I was making bank. I was doing quite well, because every time I'd get the same people that would come in, and they'd be like, go sing a song. Because the one time I got up and sang a song, it was Crying by Aerosmith.
Oh, man.
Crying by Aerosmith. I was feeling it, still heartbroken, still all love struck, just feeling hopeless. But though it was still deep, you know what I mean? And so it was like, I sang that song. Some guy comes up, $20, go sing another song, please. Okay.
Y'all do know I got to get you drinks.
My barback wanted to learn how to bartend. He was like, go ahead. He eventually took my job as a bartender, because I was like, I moved and things happened and life kept carrying on, but it was funny. He was like, no, go ahead. And we would just split the tips at the end of the night. I would bartend half the time, sing half the time. Barbacks get the chops. It worked for everybody. It was like, it was really a fun experience, And then when I moved to Long Beach, my neighbor just happened to be a musician, and she was always jamming all the time. And I would hear her jamming all the time. And I was like, can I come play with you guys? And she handed me the mic.
Start singing over the fence.
Yeah, I'm like, can I play, guy? Can I come over and play? No, it was only 2 units in the whole building. It was upstairs from Iguana Kelly's in Long Beach. It's like a cool little sport bar, dive bar. It's like we had the 2 units upstairs. It was a reasonable rent because of being above a bar, I'm sure, but it was pretty nice. It was like big space, but she was always jamming, so I'd go over and jam with her, and that's how I met my guitarist Jerry, and we formed Kaylee and the Jays, which was like, hey, let's find new members. That's fine. And then the new members, Ian and Will, were like, we're getting tired of being asked which Jay we are. So we were like, new name, and then Ian came up with Laced in Blue.
And was there a particular inspiration for Laced in Blue?
He liked it. He was really feeling about it, and he kept bringing it up, and it started to grow. I started feeling it more and more, like, you know what? Okay. Like, but it was like one of those, like, well, we don't really know what we are yet. We rock out, we jam. He was in a metal band before. He loves like Grateful Dead, like Jerry's all Motorhead and Metallica, and like, but he also has been expanding into like the blues and those different kind of things, because I'm like begging, like, let's do the blues. And Will loves, like Stevie Ray Vaughan and like, all of this, the Steely Dan, and and I love soul and R&B, and I grew up listening to hip hop, but I love like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix. Like, I love all kinds of music, though. That's tough. I like classical, from Beethoven to Slipknot, dude. I like country.
That is
like
so interesting. That is so interesting that you said that, because my kids, they've grown up the same way, because one minute I might be listening to Broadway musicals. Next minute I might be listening to Slipknot, like you said,
dude,
or something.
When I'm having a bad day, Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole.
Or if I'm in a bad mood and I know I got to do something, Limp Bizkit, break shit.
Break shit. If you're having a bad day, break stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Some days I don't want to wake up. Everything is yes. I know exactly. And some days it's a Papa Roach day. Some days you're all about like, I don't know. It's like.
And some days you're doing Uncle Cracker.
Yeah. It doesn't. Alicia Keys. I loved Alicia Keys growing up.
Now, my point in that is people that have such a wide range or eclectic view of music seem to be the more creative type. I grew up in a family where if you didn't listen to country music, you didn't turn on the damn radio.
Oh, geez.
And I was
I'm sorry you went through that. I'm glad.
They would hear me listening to something like
they let me be
Michael Jackson Thriller. That's the devil's music.
No.
No, listening to that guy talking about losing his tractor and his dog to some woman while he's been drinking is devil.
Yeah, I don't want to manifest that.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to manifest some good stuff in my life.
So-
I'm over here. I'm going to write some music that I want to experience in my
Yeah,
life.
and that's what I found, that if you're able to branch out. I had one of my coworkers for the longest time love to he actually ran a speaker wire through our offices and hooked a speaker up in his office through the ceiling to my stereo in my office area, because he wanted to listen to my playlist that I would always run.
That's hilarious. Couldn't you just like get on your Spotify and play your playlists? Aren't there? I have
that was back in the days of Pandora, when that was the only one you could get. And Pandora actually opened up a new part of the app that said that you could customize it with who do you want to listen to. So so 1 minute I might be having Enter Sandman going, and the next minute it'll be Don't Worry About a Thing.
Same. Oh, yeah, same. No, seriously. Like,
and then jump straight over there from that to Sinatra.
Yes. I used to make fun of my own playlist. Like, sorry, it's a little bipolar sometimes.
So, but one of the fun things we've actually learned to do, I've taught my kids this. This is a game we play no matter anytime we get in the vehicle. If we turn on the radio, you have to guess what the song is within the first 5 seconds.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay,
and they're down to it. They've got it. I mean, you can hear that first guitar riff on a Beastie Boys song. Da-da! Yeah, and it's like they're at Beastie Boys, a License to Ill album. That was my rule with them. You always have to say the artist and the album.
Oh, I'd probably not. I might fail at that. I'm actually like, I'm getting better. I'm going to rephrase this because I'm working on this. I'm working on manifesting, right? So I'm getting better. I'm getting better at being more familiar with famous artists' names and their works of art, and this goes across the board, from musicians to actors to painters to, lyricists. I listen to something, I admire it, I love it, but sometimes I forget to see who it was.
Yeah.
And then I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's who that is. Like, I get caught up. I got a lot going on.
And in truth, I've pretty much been staying off of the top 40s lately. I've been concentrating a lot on these indie artists like you guys that are coming up, because myself, I'm an indie artist. I paint. I'm a published author. I did all my own publishing. I'm an indie published author. So perfect. I get to keep 100% of my proceeds that come in on. I
write a lot.
And so I guess you could say in a way, I'm not a musician, but I am an artist, an indie artist. So I support the indie arts, whether it's film, music, art, or things like that. So I've been really on a kick listening to a lot of these newer indie artists that haven't signed with major record labels and stuff, because their work is sometimes far more superior, because they're putting everything that they have, like you guys, everything that you have into the music. You're putting your mind, body, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it, because it's your passion. It's something that you went out. You got these guys that have signed with a record album. It's like, okay, our next album is going to be all garbage, but guess what? You're still paying us $40 million or whatever the hell it is.
They like to simplify it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to try to decide exactly what it is, but I have personally been asked to dumb down songs, where I'll start being like, hey, I wrote this, because I don't really know how. I was not taught, right? I just sit down, I close my eyes, and start being like, oh, that sounds nice. Oh, what's this do? What's this button do? This is great. Oh, what am I writing? At least I figured out where the C key is. Now I can figure out what buttons I'm pushing. And I wrote them down. I'm getting better. I am getting better. And I sat down with a friend the other day, very talented musician and very knowledgeable. And he gave me kind of a little quick, I was like, I just need a tune-up. I need some definition. I want a little artist development. And he was like, okay. And he sat down and he listened to what I had to say. He had me show him all the things that I had written, the things that I've been working on. And he laughed and he said, you're an egg. You're an egg. There's a chicken or there's an egg. What came first? The egg. Mm-hmm. You're an egg. He was like, you're an egg. He's like, chickens, no, they talk. They already know. They're already a chicken. They already but you're an egg. You go, this feels good, so I'm going to do this. I think this is the way it's supposed to go, and I'm going to do this. And then the chicken goes, what are you doing? This is madness. Yes, it sounds good, but it doesn't make any sense. I wrote a song in 11. I wrote another one in 13. He goes, if you could add a note or lose a note, you can make it a lot easier on yourself. Put it in 12, break it down to 6 or 3 even.
Yeah, I could make it a lot easier on myself doing stuff, but I don't.
Yeah, so it's not that he's asking me to dumb myself down, but he's just saying, like, in order to write certain songs, pop songs, you kind of got to dumb them down. And
it's because they want that catchy phrase or something.
And people
was
are
that
patient.
Gucci, whatever the hell it was, Gucci girl or something like that. What is?
Oh, something. They're it's all marketing and advertising.
Yeah,
anyways.
it's a certain phrase, a catchphrase, I guess you could say.
Sorry to burst the bubbles. It's like,
hey, I loved your catchphrase, and get your fix. They just
rap about Gucci because they want to wear Gucci, and then next thing you know, they're wearing Gucci because Gucci's like, hey, I like your song. And they pick it up, and now they're wearing Gucci. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they want. That's what they want.
Now, I like your catchphrase. your catchphrase, and get a fix. Yeah, get your fix. That was the what was it? How did you word it? Something about you were gonna.
In the beginning of the song, you need your fix. How do I fix you?
Yeah, not you need your fix. How do I fix you?
Oh, get your shit
you better
together.
quit being a dumb bitch or something like that.
Oh, what did I say? I said, stop acting like a bitch before I fucking hit you. That's the only song I really curse in. Everyone's like, yeah, you curse a lot in the song. And I'm like, well, it's passionate, okay? And it was...
it's passionate. And how many times do you want to tell somebody that?
I was dealing with it. And that's not the way to handle it. I have learned that that's not the way to handle it. But, like, that's how you feel. And you're just like, come on, I fucking love you. Stop. Why are you doing this to yourself? Like, I have some things, it's like I have some things. I have some very close people in my life that were going through some very hard times. And I was watching them tear themselves down. And it was sad. Yeah. And there's nothing I could do about it. Except for try to keep loving that person, keep reminding that person that they are worthy, that I love them, that they need to love themselves, that they don't have to live like that. And I saw some miracles in my life. I've seen my own family members beat the odds of an 85% chance of never coming back from fighting addiction, and it's beautiful to see. Like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. There was nothing I could do except for keep loving that person. If you get mad at them, they're only going to be more upset with themselves. Yeah. It's not.
My point was that the lyrics were just so raw because that was a raw emotion. Because there's times when you see a friend doing something, you just want to tell them, I'm going to knock the shit out of you.
What are you doing? But it's because you're like, no. You see it, but they don't see it because they're in it.
Right.
And they have to get themselves out of it. All you can do is continue to love them and try to be supportive. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't enable. But still remind them that they're worthy human beings, just like every other human being on this planet.
And that you're always going to be there for them.
Of course. I'm never going to stop loving them, It's like, but I had to, I felt like I had to say it. It was one of those things like, come on,
and there we go. We're back.
Like, I love you. Stop it.
We're back to what the music and feeling the emotions that come out in it, because that is, in truth, it's not really something you're going to say to your friend. You're going to walk up to them and keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're not going to walk up to them and go, better straighten your dumb ass up or I'm going to slap the crap out of you or something like that.
And maybe you do once and then you realize that wasn't the way to handle it.
Yeah, but in the song, you can express that emotion and you can just feel it.
And you can also create a resolution.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the song, I changed the lyrics at the end of the song because I didn't want to create a never-ending cycle, right? So in the song where it's like, and you better do it soon or you'll find yourself in misery, or you know what I mean? And so like in the end, it was like, and you better do it soon so you'll finally be free. Having that last little like, oh, that's an option too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to extend the better option, and with writing that song, it was writing all true emotion. But when I sang it over and over again, and I didn't see anything getting better, I thought, I'm doing this wrong. I got to do this. I got to find a different way to do this. And I realized I don't want to keep repeating this cycle. I don't want to keep putting it back out there. So I put a little resolution there at the end to change it. And things did change. I'm not saying that, oh, it's this miracle, but vibration is everything. Nikola Tesla said himself, energy, vibration, frequency. It's like you change your frequency, you change your own vibration. It's going to change that of the people around you. It's going to at least affect them in a sense.
Yeah. Well, it's that old adage, it goes, what you think about, you bring about.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, if you're one of these people that is constantly just stuck in the dumps and you're gonna
always be there.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I go there sometimes. I go there.
And that's why I like the power of music, because you may be in that one of those funks, and then this song may pop up on your playlist and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get
a reminder.
Out of this.
Yep. Seriously, yes. And that's what it is. It's like that's what the music's meant to do. You know, it's meant for people. I relate. I've been there, and I try to, and everybody goes, "Oh, what do you got to lose? Yeah, well, look at your ears, you pretty little girl." And I'm being silly right now, but I'm serious. I get that, you know. But nobody really knows my life. Nobody really knows what I go through, and the people that do, they know, you know. And they're like, "We get it," you know. And it's up to me to like see it from a different perspective. Let my life make me stronger, let myself become more independent and also more loving and caring, knowing that that's what the world needs, you know? And I have my moments. I have my moments that I have to step back and I put my foot in my mouth and I'm like, oh, I'm such an asshole. Why am I such an asshole? You know, without realizing like it was pure passion and emotion in the moment. And then you step back and you go, oh, I really need to learn how to just shut the fuck up sometimes.
and so that's me, because I get so passionate,
you know, and
yeah, and I'm the same way. I get so passionate about some things. It's like I'll say something, and then afterwards, I'm like, "Yeah, I probably could have handled that a little differently." And
and so like when I'm writing music, I'll put something passionate into a song, and maybe I'll be like, "We're doing this. It's live. It's going down. Everybody's hearing it." I put it out there in the world. 2 days later, I'm like, those were kind of mean things to say, but I maybe I shouldn't have said those things.
Or a fan comes to you
going,
real.
In the moment, it was real. You know what I mean? Like, it was happening. It was truth. I stop. I go, that doesn't have to be everybody's business. I don't want this to keep happening. We don't need that to be a cycle thought.
Yeah.
It's going to keep manifesting. Not only now from my own vibrations, but from the people's vibrations that now saw it, heard it, and are resonating with it. You know, it's like, oh shit, what have I done? So sometimes I have to change my lyrics. Sometimes like.
But see, that's the good thing about being an indie artist. You have that ability. You don't have to stick to the script. And that's one of the things I try to talk to people all the time about. You know, life, they think that everything in life should be scripted out.
Sometimes it works when you're performing. A script is nice, but in life,
no, throw away the script and enjoy life.
Live it. You know what I mean? Try to make good decisions. It doesn't mean do whatever you want. Like, be healthy, take care of yourself. Like, you got this one vessel that's gonna get you through this life. It's probably important. You should like treat it with some respect, and you know what I mean, and be careful what you allow in your mind. Like, that's one of those things I think a lot. I've had friends be like, fastest CPU ever, and I'm like, yeah, like there's like a deep web of thoughts in my mind that I have to like put in the trash can often, like like throw that away, just because it's like you start to spiral sometimes into like this feeling that is hard to pull yourself out of, and nobody could talk you out of it except yourself. So it's like you got to change everyday life. You got to change the way you talk to yourself. You got to change.
Absolutely. People. And what I meant by the music part of it, because you guys, you own the rights to your music. So if there's something in it that later down the road you might realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I wasn't putting out a good vibe in this song. Let's change this one lyric.
Yeah.
You have that power to do that. You wouldn't be able to do that if like you were with MGM or something like that. No. That's the song. That's how it's released.
Right.
Sing it over and over again like this. Don't ever change.
Yes. See, it's interesting because it's like we're fighting that good battle of like wanting to become successful musicians. We want that outreach. I'm not going to hate on big labels because they have that outreach.
Yeah.
But if there's any way to make some sort of negotiable contracts, I do appreciate my creative freedom, and so does my band. You know, we will take advice, we will follow, you know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where I'm not going to let somebody paint my painting for me and then me be like, this is my work of art.
Absolutely.
If somebody painted my painting and I just signed my name on it, like, or I just added the glaze over the top, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just going to glaze it.
Yeah. And then what joy did you get out of doing that?
Yeah, you know, I like writing. I definitely want to work with a producer. I would love to work with different artists, different musicians, I'm not saying I don't want to, my band is solid. We love playing music. I love all sorts of different music as well. We also, as a band, want to work with producers as well to see like getting that extra, because we all write our own music. So it's nice to have that, maybe somebody that's out there that's able to produce hit songs that could come in and be like, I really like this. I like this. I'm not sure about this. How can we fix this? And it gives that, because we all agree, like, yes, like we love making the music we write. We love playing the music we write. You know, it's like, but if there's other people out there that like, it could be better, then damn well we want it to be better.
Yeah, you need somebody
You know
that's
what I'm
not
saying?
a neutral party.
I love this. Let's add this and then add that. Cool. If this is great, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like, why not? But
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think that live shows with us is like where you really see where it's all happening. Going in the studio and standing this close to a mic and trying to get all of that out just by standing there and doing that is so much different than when you're on the stage and you're on the ground and you're on your knees and you're you know what I mean? Like, I get really into it, sometimes too much. Like, I started to mosh on the stage a little bit the other day, and I had the urge to like kick my drummer's drum kit, but I didn't want to, because I know you'd have been like, what the
He'd be, hey, I gotta pay for that.
You know, it's just like sometimes you lose it. I was losing it that day. It was like I had gone through a very emotional week. I wanted to let it all out on stage. Yeah, I did. I was like being very then afterwards, it wasn't until after that I was like, well, I'm sorry. I go, oh, Jesus, but it happens. It's like music is emotional, especially if you use it that way. You know what I mean? Like, and got a good response. People had a great time. Like,
that's good. And I love that artists that can perform live. Like I said, I've listened to many artists that have attempted live performances. Let's just call it an attempted live performance. And it's like, wow, yeah, don't ever leave the studio.
Oh, yeah.
I've been told that they're better now. But when Fall Out Boy was one of the ones that when they first came out, their first album, and I watched a live performance that they did, and they were doing one song, and then Green Day was coming on right after them. And my wife, they did the one song. Well, it was like a big event. They had all these other bands there too. Okay. So Fall Out Boy came up first, and they started playing their song. They played Sugar. And me and my wife, oh, that's a good song. And we're sitting there listening to it. My wife looks over and she goes, what the hell are they saying? And I went, what? She goes, I can't understand a damn word they're saying.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know.
Like the music there, but you couldn't hear the lyrics.
No,
the delivery was off.
Yeah, it sounded like he was mumbling into the mic. And I was like, well, maybe there's something wrong with the audio. And then Green Day came on and did Wake Me When September Ends.
Clear as day.
And just like blew the audience away. And I'm like, no, it wasn't the mics. They just suck.
Oh, no. Well, Green Day's pretty good. They've been around for a long time, you know.
And they were seasoned at that point.
Very well practiced. I'm sure that they would have thrown a fit if their mics weren't right. It would have been like, mic check. Excuse me.
Sorry, what?
Good sound is very important during live shows, though. I've done shows where people are like, you guys were great, but you got to turn the lyrics up, or I couldn't hear your voice that well. Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted to hear what you had to say. I could hear it, but I couldn't hear it. And I felt the same. I thought, I can't hear myself either because my band's really loud sometimes. And so once we started getting that communicated with like the sound engineer, where I'm like, because, you know, it's like I said, this is still a fairly new part of my life. So I'm all like, oh, like, can I have more of me in the monitor? once I discovered that, I was like, more me. I need more me. Less him.
It's like him.
Can't do much about this guy back here, but just like, please don't put anybody in my monitor but me. It's just because I can't.
Walk up to your sound engineer and go, you tell your sound engineer, I love me.
And then I'm like, and then I always ask, can you guys hear me okay? And if they're like, no, louder, then there we go. It's like, great. But I mean,
yeah, and not being afraid to.
Good sound guy. The sound guy, that's key to have a good sound.
And not being afraid to interact with your audience. That's what I love about a good performance. A good performance is an artist that is not that. Screw an artist that's just going to get up on the stage, run through their whole set, and then get off.
Yeah.
I like an artist that's going to get up on stage, going to interact with the audience, get the audience participating and stuff like that.
Well, it's usually I've a lot of the same people come to our shows, you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of familiar faces. Of course, I'm like, you and you and you. I know you guys, I know these faces here. Like, it's fun. It's, you know, so of course. But when I first started, I'd get up there. I was that guy. I would get up there. I was still interacting because I had some stage presence from like doing the acting thing and like getting up there. So it was like I could still get up there and talk to people at this point in my life. But when I would sing, it was like I would just close my eyes. I still like to close my eyes. Something about it. It's like that pure letting go. Nothing's around you, just you and the music coming to you. You know what I mean? And then what you're letting out. Like, that's it. So there are moments where I really like to let go and close my eyes. But at first it was just me kind of doing that the whole time. Looking at the audience made me nervous. You know, I'd see them. I'd think, oh, do they like it? They're all just staring at me. Why is nobody moving? And then afterwards they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. And you're like, okay, because I was confused. Because like, and now everybody, we've added more dancey songs, more high energy songs. People are getting to know the songs. They're really feeling them. Now the crowd's always moving. Yeah. And it keeps me moving and jumping. The more energy they give me, the more energy I give them. It's like a really like beautiful cycle that it's the audience is everything sometimes with
your audience gives you the energy a lot of times.
Oh man.
And I've found that to be true in public speaking whenever I would do like speaking engagements and stuff, because I'm not one of these that would just get up there on stage and give my speech and thank you very much and leave. No, I was one of those that was never at the podium. I would always have
all over
mic in my hand. Let's walk around. Let's get down, walk through the crowd. I'm asking them questions because I'm playing off of them. I get audience giggling and laughing and serious topic, but they're still laughing and they're having fun. Because I want and I feel that it works better that way. And when they start participating with me, it gives me that boost of energy as well. Because now I know I'm not just talking to a audience full of dead fish.
Yeah, it's like such a difference between like live performances versus studio recording.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. In the studio recording, like I have gotten better at it over the years. At first it was like, you're gonna lock me in this little closet with this foam and make me try to sing my heart out, I'm gonna die in here, you know. It's like, but you know, but like now I'm able to actually like stand there, and that's the moment, that's my moment where I'm allowed to stand there and close my eyes. That's where I realized those moments where I had on stage where I just stand there and close my eyes, now I can do, that's where I do that. You know, it's like, and the energy that I feed off there is just the fact that I know that I have to make this sound good. There's going to be millions of people that can potentially hear it. Yeah. You know?
And you're out there on Spotify and iTunes, Google Play, all these locations. So, I mean, it's getting listened to. I've even seen, because I went through today and when like I said, I followed you on Spotify so that way I could listen to the whole album. But whenever I Googled the band, there was already a few of your songs that were in other playlists that people were creating.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, no, I want the whole thing. So
that's good to hear. I like to hear that. That's good.
It's getting heard. Yeah. And like I said, I listened to it today on my motorcycle ride, and I was like, this was a blast. I really enjoyed listening to it. It took me through the whole range of emotions. When music does that, it's got my attention. I think there's only one genre of music I absolutely will not listen to this day, and it's because, like I said, I was forced to listen to it growing up.
It's country.
Can't stand country. You
It's sometimes, these childhood traumas that we carry with us.
yeah.
It might help to listen to some Southern rock, and that might be as close to country as you need to
Oh
get.
yeah, I mean, I'll listen to some
CCR,
Southern rock.
some Leonard Skinner, and this is as close to country as you have to get.
I'll listen to Southern rock all day long, but don't
There you go.
ever think you're going to hear me jamming out a
There
song
you
where
go.
she thinks my tractor's sexy.
I used to jam out to that a little bit because I thought it was funny. I didn't have a tractor, but the song itself kind of made me like laugh a little bit. And it was much better than like my dog ran away and my wife left me, and it was like, hell yeah, I got this chick riding on my lap and we're going out to the pasture, and I thought it was I thought it was good.
See, I grew up in the era. I grew up in the era where everybody thought backmasking was a thing. So my joke always was when I would listen to something that when my stepdad or mom would be listening to something, I'd be like, hey guys, if you play that backwards, it gets everything back and the dog comes home. And
oh yeah, yep. I remember that joke. I think I've heard that.
So they were like, they just kind of look at
I
me.
think I've heard that.
And it's like, yeah, I'm going to be back here in the back seat. I'm going to throw on my earphones. I'm listening to some Judas Priest.
Yeah. See, I grew up listening to, all right, so I loved hip hop. Like I liked Salt and Pepper. Like,
oh yeah.
I really loved Warren G and Tupac and Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and Nate Dogg and all this, like growing up when I was like in elementary school, like
this is how we do
I'm
it.
gonna marry Tupac one day, and she's like, okay, he's a very handsome gentleman. Sure, knock yourself out. She was just like, okay, honey. And I loved R&B. Oh my gosh, 90s R&B was the best. You know what I mean? And like it was that follow up to soul, that R&B and soul from back in the 50s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was really feeling it and doing the thing. The 50s.
Some Aretha Franklin or something like that.
So, yeah, and Aretha Franklin coming into the 80s. It was like all that, the soul kept turning into funk and all that, and then it turned into this new R&B age of like, it was like 112 and Jagged Edge and like, I don't know, it was just all of these Tyrese and
Boys to Men,
all of these Boys to Men and All for One and all of these like, it was like the like that Motown type stuff, you know what I mean? Like the feeling of that, and a lot of it was love songs, and it was nice. It was like, I feel like it fueled my high school sweetheart relationship. Like it fueled our relationship, like listening to those songs, riding around in the car. You know what I mean? Like it was like kept us in love. It's interesting how music does that.
Music
like
was
you start listening to something different that's chaotic. You might have a chaotic life.
Music was the. How did I heard it said this way one time? Is the music we listened to was the soundtrack of our life.
Okay.
That was like, if you had to go back to my soundtrack of my, if you had to go back to the soundtrack of my life, you're going to be all over the place. You might be having Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up in one end of it.
This is why I've lived 33 different lives.
Yes, exactly. I feel like
because of all the different music that I listen to, I've lived all these different existential parts of me. It's like who I was 10 years ago is not who I am now, and who I was 3 years prior to that. Maybe a little closer, to that. But what's funny is I've been delving into the world of, okay, so when I went on this little trip recently, after our big Troubadour show, I had damaged my vocal cords being reckless. And I was told not to sing. So I didn't sing. So I was writing a lot. So I rapped. I wasn't supposed to sing. And I started writing a lot. And so I was just rapping everything I wrote because I couldn't think of it in singing without singing. And I used to write a lot of poetry anyways, and it used to come out that way. And so a couple of times I read it to people. Oh, look what I'm writing. And they were like, holy shit. Like I was stuck on the Basin Bridge in Louisiana during my road trip. And it was, there was a car accident. It was raining. It was crazy. There was a fire. They made us evacuate our cars. We were stuck on the bridge for 6 hours. They thought it was going to blow up.
Is that big long one that goes over Lake Pontchartrain?
Oh, I have no idea, dude. It's over a swamp. There are alligators in the swamp.
Yeah, it's that 20-mile long bridge.
Alligators waiting to eat us when this bridge blew up. And I was like, this is how I'm going out? And I'm like, well, I guess if I had to go out, it's pretty dope. Like, yeah, there's an explosion and then the bridge and there are alligators. It's like, but no, that didn't happen. So that's good. But while I was on that bridge, you couldn't help but make friends over 6 hours of standing in the hot and then in the rain, and then it was hot and then it was raining, and so people were opening up their semi trucks that were hollow and letting us stand in or underneath them during the rain, and you're like, oh hi, what brings you to this bridge? Like, what were you doing today? I was like, I'm on my way to Oklahoma City from New Orleans and I'm stuck here for 6 hours. So that's how my day is going. And they're like, oh, I was just on my way to the dentist. You know, like just like very interesting, this like colliding of people. And I found myself like hanging out with these guys, and we were talking about music, and this guy was like, yeah, I rap. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, made a joke like, yeah, I rap too. And he was like, oh, let's hear something. And I was like, oh, for real? And I was like super like, oh, I'm so nervous right now. I'm embarrassed. But it was something that I had worked on that I was pretty proud of. And he's standing there, and there's a couple other guys standing there, and I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, I'm really nervous. Okay, I'm going to do this. And I did it for the first time, like rapped in front of some people. And he was like, and all of a sudden his friend was like, oh, let me get off the phone. Hangs up his phone. He's like, what? And this guy comes running around the corner, and he's like, is she rapping? It was really like this moment where I was like, okay. And he was like, don't stop doing that. Like, don't stop doing that. Like, that was amazing. And I was like, okay. And so, you know, I've been telling my friends, and they're laughing like, okay, Kaylee, yeah, sure, rap. And I was like, you guys don't know who I am really. This is my influence from high school, all through high school and college. And like, I was listening to hip hop and rap. That's what I listened to. You know, it's like, now I'm doing rock and roll because I discovered I could sing, and this is what's happening. I'm just following the flow. You know what I mean? I'm just going with this flow.
So are we going to possibly have an R&B song
Maybe
later come out that's got a little rapping lyric in it? Because that is that is popular. I've seen a lot of songs that are, or people are doing that, and it works.
With Laced in Blue, a lot of times on a bridge, I'll kind of flow. Like, I've had people go like, oh, it's like she's singing, but she's like rapping. So I'm not going too far out of what I'm already doing with the singing, but it is a little, I do like to be lyrical. And I've been told like, okay, well, maybe draw out the words, cut the lyrics down, this and this and that. But I like the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-does. And the this and this and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, I like those, the working on the 16th notes and the 8th notes, and like not just quarter notes and whole notes. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's fun. It was cool. I showed my band, and like, they actually were kind of like, okay, like posted something on our Instagram story. I pulled something up. We were all talking, and I just started like reading something I wrote and rapping it, like kind of just freestyled it. And like, I mean, it was a freestyle when I wrote it down though. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then I did it again, and he filmed it, and we all just got a good laugh out of it. Cause at the end it was like, okay. So it's one of those things where we're still young. We're still new. We are still fresh, dude. We got 4 songs right now that are out. We've got 4 songs that we recorded. We've got many more to come. We've got more written that are not recorded that we perform. We are writing more songs. It's still developing. Just like you said, every song on our EP is like almost a slight different variation of a genre, right?
Exactly.
So it's still expanding. We've got another song we were calling it, let's do the funk song. It's not called the funk song, but we call it that because it's funky. Okay, well, let's do that one bluesy song. Okay, let's do that emo song. Let's do that metal song. Like we have different kind of feelings to the songs, right? So like, I love hip hop. I think that it's
maybe you need to do like
it's expressive in many ways. I feel like one thing, like I said though, with music being mantra, there's a lot of dangerous hip hop out there for like the minds of people that are listening to it. And I grew up listening to it, and when I recognize what I was listening to was influencing my behavior, I had to change my behavior. I had to kind of change the music I was listening to.
So the hip hop music that I grew up on, because I'm a little bit older than you, I'm in my 40s, and I grew up on stuff like Big Daddy Kane, Ice-T, Ice-T and Ice Cube and all those guys.
Yeah, like I like Ice Cube and
Eazy-E and
amazing.
Things like, yeah, and it was like,
it was expressive, it was amazing, it was raw, it was different.
And it does
opened
affect
up a
you
of all sorts of craziness.
Exactly.
Beautiful things, scary things, good things, maybe not so good things, like, but it's art, and art does that.
And I was so amazed when Ice-T actually went from the rap and hip hop genre and crossed over into heavy metal with the rap with it. And I was
Right.
like, oh, hell yes. And
Because he
I
wasn't
actually,
free to express himself. Maybe he liked that kind of music. He's like, just because I do hip hop doesn't mean I'm not allowed to like other genres. It doesn't mean I can't combine these genres. I love the idea of blending and mixing and combining
absolutely.
genres. You
Oh,
know?
it's like even Aerosmith did it with,
Why
they,
not?
yeah, Aerosmith did it. They did songs with Run DMC.
Oh
And,
yeah, of
and,
course. And Aerosmith, I loved Aerosmith growing up. Like
and
I
so
really did. Like
it's you guys have such an opportunity right now because like you said, you're still young, you're new, you're fresh. You have an opportunity to show the world everything that has influenced you throughout your lives and yet still be a unique thing within the
yeah,
music community.
yeah,
And so that's once again, that's why I enjoy talking with indie artists, because
yeah.
I think you guys are going to be you guys are the actual, what my kids will, when they're older, be saying, hey, check out my album, Laced in Blue.
Yeah. Woohoo.
My daughter actually listened to some of yours today, and she was like, she heard your first lyrics. She was like, whoa, okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hey, there's a lot of truth in all those. And there's what was that has Get Your Fix, that has Steal, Love is
Mhm.
Powerful, and Rise Above. And they are all very separate topics, you know, like
Mhm.
one's about like somebody else dealing with that. One's about like taking charge of your own, realizing you're only being a detriment to yourself. The other is about just allowing love to take over in a sense and being able to even if you've been through hurt and you've been through pain, like it's okay to love again. It's okay to feel love. It's okay to be loved. It's okay to give love. There's no bad's gonna come from that, you know. And then the last one, Rise Above, is like that. All right, like we all can agree there's not a lot of really, you know, there's some fucked up things going on in the world. We can all agree that the world is not perfect right now. We can all agree that there needs to be a change. Okay, we can all agree that if we all come together and we can agree on this, we can rise above it. You know what I mean? And that's
Absolutely.
like about that, you know, that's also like share love, come together. There's a lot of positivity. That one's got the double bass in it though. I feel like I want to mosh in that one. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that one gets me hyped, dude. And that one gets people moving. And we got Wake Up coming. We've got Revolution. We've got Do What I Want. We've got Pain Fades. We've got these songs that they touch in on all these different kind of things. Some Do What I Want. That one is that one was me manifesting. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I want. I'm over this.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna write this song because I want to do what I want. And if anybody that listens to it wants to do what they want, they can listen to it, and maybe they can manifest some things for themselves as well. But for me, it was specific. I was like, I was living in Long Beach when I met my band. I moved out of Long Beach. I was unhappy where I was. I wanted to come back. I was like, wrote lyrics in a song. I wrote a new song. So I found myself in Long Beach. My soul told me to go. Within a week, I had been contacted by a place that I looked at, and boom, I had my place. I moved in a month later. It was like,
Nice.
you know, one of these things where I even pointed at the street, like, okay, so I want to come back to Long Beach. Where do I want to live? Maybe that street would be good. And here I am.
That's awesome.
It's a miracle what we can do for ourselves if we put our minds to it.
Absolutely.
Gotta
Now,
believe it.
Kaylee, I want to take this time since we're running up on our time now. I want you to talk to the audience. Tell the audience where they can get your music from, and
Okay.
where to follow you, and even the live performances. Because I've got listeners that are in the California and LA area. I've done a lot of the people that I've interviewed are from that area, and
Okay.
so you're going to have my listeners there, and tell them how they can come see you guys in a live performance. This is your time.
Okay.
So,
So for everybody who's out there online, we're on Spotify. You can just find us under Laced in Blue. We do have our 4-song EP on there. Be on the lookout for our new songs. They should be coming up within the next couple months. We want to make sure everything's perfect. We have YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, Laced in Blue channel. We've got videos from our live performances. Instagram, Laced in Blue. Find us on Instagram. I think that stays the most updated. and that's where you're going to see where our live shows are. We always post flyers of our live shows, where we're playing next. We often repost videos that people take of us during the shows on our stories, so you can like, oh, I missed the show. The next day you check it out. Yeah. Yep. You can check it out the next day and you can see like, oh, these are some clips. It looked like it was a dope show. I wish I would have went. And then they're like, okay, when's the next one? And then we post, okay, you missed it, but here's the next one, you know, or thank you for coming. Like, Facebook, we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Twitter is a whole nother realm.
Twitter can be either a dumpster fire or
I have yet to master the art of Twitter.
No,
if anybody out there really, really is a Twitter fanatic and wants to like take on our Laced in Blue page, you're hired.
I prefer Instagram because all you got to do is strategically place those hashtags and it gets seen.
Oh my gosh. Hashtag. I have been trying to figure out the hashtag thing. And granted, it works. It helps. But like, you know, it's like, when do you overuse them? And how do you know you're using the right ones? And like, oh, people are going to be like, too many hashtags. Oh, well, you're not hashtagging. Like, oy vey. Like, hashtags, it's a pound sign.
Yeah, I grew up calling it a pound.
Quit calling it a hashtag.
It took me forever to be
number. I honestly thought that meant number. I thought that was a symbol for number.
I honestly, for the longest time, when people were going hashtag this,
one.
I was like,
it's not hashtag one.
So I actually was typing in my Facebook posts like hashtag such and such, and they were like, "That's not how you do
like
it."
Typing in hashtag like HA.
Yeah, they were like, "No, it's this." I said, "No, that's a pound sign, or it stands for number." "No, that's a hashtag." "No."
Okay.
My generation created that. I know what it's called.
Hashtags. Hashtag. How about that? Hashtag. Okay,
so yeah, I feel like an idiot because I was actually writing it out.
It's like, okay, you know, it's finding that sweet balance, the sweet spot for.
Mm-hmm. Now, in truth, I can actually
media right, and not letting it corrode your brain at the same time.
Yeah. And in truth, I can actually tell you, when I had my Instagram page started up, I've had the Instagram page for 3 years, and I was like, whatever. And I had a few followers here and there. And then I started posting all my videos on it and my podcasts. And every now and then I'd get something. And somebody told me, said, "Hey, why don't you throw some hashtags in there? It'll help a lot."
And you're like, "What's that?"
And I was like, no. And I knew at that point, I was like, oh, well, it never occurred to me. And so he and I sat and talked for, he and I sat and talked for a little bit. And I was like, well, you know, I'm not a hashtagger, never was. And he was like, okay, so what you do is like, let's say this particular podcast. When I would do it, I'm going to hashtag Laced in Blue, obviously.
Okay, we have that too. We do have a hashtag Laced in Blue.
And then, but I'm going to hashtag blues music, hashtag rock music, hashtag music for the soul, just different types of things.
I have a hashtag Kaylee Robin loves you. And I started that a long time ago. I was doing these little inspirational post things because I was like, really, I like practicing yoga. Like I said, I practice Reiki. I like to meditate. I like to keep myself. I like to heal. I like to heal myself. I like to heal others. I'm a healer. I'm a part of the healer community. So when I was in like really like delving in that before I started allowing music to really like take over, I was creating these little things and hashtag, I was putting, little inspirational quotes. Love yourself more than anybody. Love yourself the way you've always wanted to be loved was one of them. Hashtag Kaylee Robin loves you. You know what I mean? And it was just like little things like that. And I found it the other day. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. And I started doing more. I was just like started randomly putting Kaylee Robin loves you on some of my posts again. Yeah.
Well, in doing that, I was like, okay, whatever. And I, boom, send out that one. And it was like within an hour, I went back and I was like, you got 48 new followers? What?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, when you get it out there, it's good so that way they can search it and find you. They can, when they type it in the search bar, it usually like searches hashtags first, I feel like, right? And
hell if I know how that engine works.
I feel like that's the way it works. I'm still figuring it out as well. But if I decide like, hey, I want to search for Halloween makeup ideas, that's something that was recent. Like, oh, that's something that's popular. You type in Halloween makeup ideas and it'll be like hashtag Halloween makeup ideas, makeup, all these different hashtags that people tagged, and you click on it and you can see all the pictures that had been tagged with that hashtag. Some of them are exactly what you're looking for. Some of them are not at all what you're looking for, because people don't always use hashtags how they're supposed to be used. Some of them use it like comedy.
Yeah.
Which is also great too. I don't know. Like when you look at a hashtag, sometimes you're like,
it's
look
ironic.
at the hashtag on this picture, and you can laugh so hard just some of the things that they say.
Yeah.
You know, like when you catch them, some of them you catch them and you're like, what the heck? But it's good. But yeah, so
Well,
I don't know. I feel like everything in life is fairly relative to the frequencies and vibrations we put out there, and what more influential frequency and vibration out there than music and media that's affecting everybody.
Well, Kaylee, I am stoked that you actually came on the show tonight. You are so full of energy. You make me feel old and tired.
I've been told.
That's all right. I love it. I love having a very energetic person on the other side, because it gets me pumped up and excited too about it. And like I said, I was excited to have you on the show specifically because your agent contacted me and was like, hey, I've got some people that I'm interested in bringing to you. And I was like, okay, here, send them the link. And I had to tell her, I said, look, you don't have to ask me this each time. You've got the link, send it to your people.
Yeah.
And it's like, they'll get in touch with me. And so you immediately jumped on, took the first open slot that you had. And I was
like, let's do this. Why not?
Yeah,
you know, and
let's do it.
It's exciting.
And
we do have a website as well online.
Okay.
It's www.lacedinblue.com.
Okay. Is it on my links? Is it on my links list?
It should be. I think I put the website, right?
I'm looking.
I most
Instagram,
definitely should
Facebook,
have.
Twitter. Actually, you didn't.
Deep. Wah, wah, wah. Wasn't there a separate line that asked if I had a website, not just social media links?
There it is up there at the top.
Okay, I was like, really?
That was my derp.
I was like, come on, Kaylee.
Yeah, web address, lacedinblue.com, and then I asked you to provide your social media links. So all those are going to be going out to my listeners. And so.
Yeah, you can listen to our music on our website as well. We have merch on our website now, so if you like, you listen to music, you become a fan, maybe you want to get a little koozie cup, maybe you want a t-shirt.
And actually, I want to tell my listeners, go check out that cover art. That is badass. I like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's, one of my friends, actually, my graphic designer friend, Kimmy, she's also was the neighbor that we call her Mama Kim because she like birthed the band in a sense. Like she's an artist, a musician. She moved out to Georgia, but she was my neighbor. She helped me with Adobe Photoshop. She knows how to use it very well. I was like, how do I do this with this? How do I do this with that? And then finally she was like, Kaylee, look, just do it yourself. I'm just going to tell you what to do, because I was trying to explain what I wanted her to do. And she was like, just do it. Just ask me, and so I learned how to do it. And together we made that cover. And it's from one of my fine art pieces. I have like the original, the OG sketch. This is the original sketch. This is the one that was the concept idea. It wasn't the actual drawing that got scanned and put into, which is another drawing of mine. That was a later version. This is the concept idea of it. I did this in 2007 when I first moved to LA.
Nice.
Little did I know it was going to be on the cover of the music that I had no idea I had the capability to create. It was very, with a team, of course. It takes a team. It's really important to have a strong team. Okay, I can't hang this back up, but oh. All right, I'm good.
just set it in your lap.
We're good. So,
well, Kaylee.
So she helped me with that, and we've got more of that coming. We've got more album art. We've got more art. We plan on doing art with every release, so it's going to be really cool. Well,
Kaylee, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Like I said, this has been a blast. I thoroughly enjoyed this. You are very energetic. You're a super positive person, and I love that. I love the flow of the music. Like I said, the emotions, the roller coaster of emotions it can take you on. And that's what I love. So I hope that my listeners will actually look you guys up on Spotify. Like I said, to any of my listeners that are listening, I will have links to
playlists,
Yeah. I will have links to her Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, website, everything on there. And also, and I'm going to remind you guys, when you hear the credits, go ahead and let them play all the way through. At the end, I'm going to play one of their songs with her permission because they hold the rights.
Yay. Okay, yes.
So
yes.
iTunes can suck it.
You can play it. You can play it. You can
See,
play
there
it
you
from
go.
my website if you want. You can go to the website and play it. So you don't even have to go through iTunes. So, but you can. You can go through iTunes. You go through Spotify. You go through our website.
Yes. So with that, guys, I just want to thank you once again for coming on. This has been a blast. And to any of my listeners out there, you can always call into the show at 361-433-5739. Leave us your voicemail. We'll play it on air. Or if you just want me to just call you back or whatever, I can do that too. You can also reach us at our email address at stalkermailbox@gmail.com. Don't laugh at that.
Stalker mailbox?
Yes.
Like ALK?
Yeah, like as in stalkers.
Like stalkers. Okay, I didn't know if you meant like
Yeah.
stalker, like STOCK.
No,
Stalker.
STA.
Stalker.
Yeah, like as in
Like
like
a
they were
stalker.
stalking us. Yeah.
ALK. Okay. Nice.
I saw you going, huh? What? Yeah, that was my email address I created when I released my first book. I had the email address in the book for people to contact me.
Nice.
And
they're all like, am I allowed? Is this going to make me a stalker for, like, is this a...
I had people contact
Are
me.
you messing with me?
No, I actually had people contact me. It was funny because I got to interact with the readers. They were actually
awesome.
reading the book, and they were very positive, except for one. I did have one death threat.
Oh,
Yeah, they
that's
didn't.
not cool.
Well,
Like, yo, man, like, you can't take things so personally. Like, this wasn't a personal attack. I know you're going through some things. I hope you figure it out.
Yeah, it was like
This wasn't against you.
they came at me threatening me,
I
death
know
threat.
you.
Yeah. And I'm like, you do know that this is a work of fiction, right?
Yeah, this isn't real. Like, who are you? Yeah, there's some people out there, but they need love too, man.
Yeah.
Probably more than most, but.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be wrapping up today's show. Once again, Kaylee, thank you for coming on. And to my listeners, you know how to reach us. So hit us up. And with that, we are out of here.
Now, here comes the music.
We want to thank you for tuning in to the Anything Goes Project. If you like this show, subscribe and share it. That would greatly help us out. To contact the show, email us at stalkermailbox@gmail.com. We love hearing from our subscribers and our listeners. The Anything Goes Project can be found on iTunes, Castbox, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, and many other Android applications. And once again, thanks for listening.